Hello, welcome to another live stream by Aziel Arts. I'm excited for you to join me today, and we're going to be continuing our build of the opening shot of Mad Max, which I'll pull up right here. And we've been working on this, I think, the last 3 or 4 streams, and this stream we're going to be focusing on filling out the foreground and getting it ready to render. And if you haven't joined these streams before, this is a chill working stream where I take a shot from a movie or a project I'm working on, and I bring you along for the ride as I use Unreal Engine and other tools to build it, and I just share my process as I'm working on it. So we've been working on this shot in Unreal Engine here for the past few weeks, as I mentioned, and we're just going to be continuing. And if you are with me towards the end of the stream, about 45 minutes to an hour, I'm going to be giving away a full course package that I offer, which teaches you the full process of making films in Unreal Engine. So that's what we're looking forward to at the end of the stream. But for now, let's jump right in and start working. I'm excited to take this shot to the next level. If I switch over to lit mode, this is what we currently have set up. And if you are just joining me for the first time, I'll just give you a little bit of a like short set walk around the scene to show you what I have set up, and then we'll go from there. So if I come out of my camera here that I'm looking through, this scene is built in Unreal Engine. I have a foreground landscape here. I have these pieces of geometry as my mountains. We set up a metahuman character for Mad Max himself. We're using a PCG volume to simulate these rocks in the foreground. And I'm using a super cool model, which I put the link to below this video, of the Ford Interceptor car. And in the background, we have another PCG volume simulating all these ground plates and kind of rotating them, duplicating them, spreading them across the landscape to give the feeling that it's vast. You're seeing deep into the distance. Then we have some fog, and finally for the clouds up here, we have these easy fog cloud cards, which are a super cheap and cool tool, which I also linked below this video, I believe. And you can grab those and kind of hand place cloud cards. So that's what I use to create this look here. So if I bring up my reference here, and as I'm working, you know, feel free to just jump in and ask questions. What's up, Trebedy? What's up, RH Soundscape? Welcome to the stream. Happy to have you. England. Whoa, welcome from England. Welcome from England. I'm here in New York City. Actually, I don't think I introduced myself. My name is THADDAEUS, and I'm a digital mixed media artist, and I'm from New York City. So super cool to have somebody from England here. Yeah, you guys feel free to just ask any questions as they come to you. I'm more than happy to pause and answer things, or if you have also suggestions as I'm working through this, always open to that. Netherlands, welcome. That's awesome. I would really love to visit the Netherlands at some point. Seems really beautiful. Speaking of landscape, let's talk about this foreground here. So I have this PCG volume duplicating all these tiny little rocks in the foreground here, and you can, like I said, check out the previous stream if you want to see how to do that. But what I think my plan for this here is we're going to fill out the foreground, add this kind of I don't know, pile of junk here, bedroll pile of junk. So we're going to fill out those geometries. I'm going to take this car and export it so I can modify the mesh to open the car door. And then if we can get through all that, this stream, I'm expecting to then jump on some slight color correction and then some camera animation. So we'll be hopefully if we can get through all that, we'll be ready to render in the next stream. We'll just do a full stream on rendering. So we'll see if we can get that far. But starting on this foreground here, I'm going to just start dragging in some rocks. I've downloaded a bunch from Quixel Bridge, which you can find up here if you have not used it before. And I've downloaded a few that I think will fit well. So I'm going to start dragging them on. And I love these little ground rock like piles because they're really good to kind of use as little assemblies and just fill out the ground and add more detail. So I'm going to start just duplicating them, positioning them around. Because I really like this kind of really dense rocky surface that he has on the right side there. And don't be afraid to mess with scale. I think when I first started using these Megascans assets, I was like terrified of making them the wrong scale. Like I was just obsessed with everything being real world scale. But it doesn't really matter actually how big, if they're small rocks or big rocks. So I'm going to duplicate these. While I'm working on this, I'm curious, Trebity and Soundscape, what's your experience with Unreal Engine so far? Are you beginners? Are you more advanced, or kind of why are you here? If you know. Good question. So Soundscape's asking about the human, how we modeled it and what we can, where you can find out how to do that. And it's either the last stream or the stream before, we actually took, I can actually open up the blueprint here. So this is a metahuman character that I made using the metahuman editor, which you can use their character. If you go up to the Quixel Bridge section here and you come to the metahumans tab and then you click on any of them, you can go to the metahuman creator here. So if you've done that, that's what I did here to just make this guy. And then what I did in my case, I did it in Maya, but I replaced his clothes. So we exported his like upper body, like torso mesh here as an FBX, this thing. We exported it, we brought it into Maya, and then we reskinned a new jacket. And yes, that's the reason we did that. Soundscape's asking about the rig. The reason we did that is so that we can basically re-import it and it'll just slot into the metahuman, so we can use the same metahuman rig. So if I open I click on the metahuman rig here, I think I have overlays turned off here, but you can still use the exact same metahuman rig to position the character, which is what I wanted. So, or you could use animations, whatever. So that is the process that we use, and I go through the whole thing in the previous stream, so you can definitely check that out. But you have to, if you're familiar with Blender or familiar with Maya, those are kind of the softwares I'd recommend doing that in. Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5 conversion. Yeah, I don't know about that actually. I kind of started using Unreal Engine heavily when it became 5. I used it a little bit in the 4 when it was 4, but now I'm mostly using 5, so I'm not sure about that. Thank you, Soundscape. That's very kind of you. Right. I'm gonna scale this down a little bit. Dude, thanks for the encouragement. That's very nice. All right. Cool. All right, that's kind of looking a lot closer to the reference here. Maybe I'll drag over few more duplications. We're looking good here. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that the tutorials have been helpful. Yeah, I mean, I love teaching and I love sharing what I don't know, my process, what I'm doing, almost as much as actually doing it. So if it's helpful to others or inspiring in some way, I'm all about that. So happy to hear that. Let's see, I'm gonna drag this over here. All right. This is looking pretty good. Gonna drag over. There's one in the corner here. Yeah. All right. That looks pretty good. So let's move on to let's save and open this car door, which is going to be more of a process than I thought originally, because when I bought this asset, I assumed the car door would be separate, but it's not actually separate. So we need to separate it in, I'm going to use Maya. So if I come over here to the asset, let me see. I basically used a blueprint to assemble all the meshes. If we look in the viewport here, there's a bunch of different meshes I used to assemble the car because it came in pieces. I don't want to duplicate it. So I am going to, I'm gonna change this to unlit because my computer is running kind of slowly now. Okay, that's better. All right, so I need to check and see what meshes I need to modify in order to get this door open so we can copy the reference a little bit better. Looks like I have this outer shell here and I have the inner shell, so I need both of those, inside and outside. So outside. And do I need this guy? No, not that one. So these two meshes. And I believe I can right click. Maybe I need to do them separately. I guess I need to go to them in the content browser here. Right click on them, asset actions, and hit export. And I'm going to just put it in the folder I already have for this asset here. And I'm going to keep the name the same because I want it to just copy over. Soundscape has a question here. If you turn off the texture streaming when prepping objects for VFX. I don't. Hypothetically, it should be fixed in your render settings, if that makes sense. So like when you render, I'm not sure if we'll get to it this stream, but next stream definitely, you can do some settings that will make sure that the textures are rendering at the highest resolution possible. Because I've run into that too, because when you turn on virtual textures and you drag objects in, they tend to be like low resolution. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, Soundscape, but oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that might just be because your graphics card is not able to handle the load. Oh, you're on 4090. Interesting. Wow, you must have had a really heavy scene. I mean, I think just general optimization can go a long way, but I definitely at some point usually have to up the streaming pool here, which I use the console command here for. I'm not sure if you ever used this. Set streaming pool size here. I'm guessing that's what you are using, and I usually set it up. Looks like I've gone over it now, but yeah, that's what you can mess with. But hypothetically, the rendering should fix it because it's offline. But yeah, I would just increase. I would increase the pool because the problem is, I don't know, you don't want to just kill your system. This is making me save my map again. I'm just worried if you turn the pool off completely, like you might crash your computer. Yeah, I feel you on that. I had a bunch of bugs with that too. Yeah, so let me just save this really quick here. We're going to open up the car mesh in Maya real quick. But yeah, I mean, I think they were really figuring out a lot of rendering bugs with 5.1. I've had a lot more success with it recently. I mean, I know there was another bug I was running into with like rendering effects. Like all the effects would render like super fast when I was running, like, oh yeah, a bunch of bugs in the render queues. So I've had it be a bit more stable recently. And then also, like, if you're doing like high quality client work, you might also want to use the path tracer instead of the normal rendering. But yeah, hopefully we can get to that next stream too. Okay, so I'm going into Maya here and I'm going to import the meshes that I exported to car meshes. And in Maya, I'm going to make sure I have the add turned on just in case, so nothing overwrites itself. Oops, I closed my window. Open and import. There we go. And this car is huge, so I'm going to need to adjust some settings, but I'm going to first import the second piece. Hit import. And in Maya, this car is real world scale, so my camera is like, whoa, I'm like clipping and everything, so I'm going to select my camera up here at the top right, and I can come to my near clipping plane and increase it, and my far clipping plane also increase it so that it covers the full car here. And I don't need this thing here. If I hide it, are the physics volumes, so they also get exported sometimes. So I'm going to hide that. Okay, here's my mesh successfully gotten in here. Okay, so I need to figure out how to open this car door because it's one mesh, and I'm hoping the car door is actually its own little piece of geometry. And I can check that by right-clicking and switching to face mode here and double-clicking on the door, which it looks like it is the same mesh, so that's great. And so I'll try to double-click on these other meshes to select them, and hopefully I can also do the same with the interior. Looks like that kind of worked. Okay, now if we move this, almost got everything. Just need to grab a few meshes here. This might end up not being so bad. Okay, now let's rotate it. Oh, you're right. There are some extra meshes in here. Oh no, what did I do? Okay, I need to try and select these meshes. Okay. I don't think these are aligned very well. I think there's something weird here in the mesh, which I need to fix. But I'm going to press Control 1 to isolate these. This is definitely the meshes I need. Let me try selecting their vertices instead. That seems to work better. Maybe I'll try... There we go. Okay. Sneaky. So let's go ahead and position these. Maybe like that. And I'm not worrying too much about the pivot point because I think I can just sort of, yeah, eyeball it. But this was more complicated. I'd probably worry about all the meshes having the same pivot point, but they're all staying the same mesh. So I'm hoping I don't need to do anything extra here. Okay. Yeah, this looks about right. Okay, so now I need to export this back into Unreal Engine. So I'm going to grab the interior, file, export selection, and come back to this folder, and I'll just make a new folder called new. Hopefully I won't get confused by that. And the file name, I need it to be the same file name, so T inside FBX. So I'm going to select that and then come over to new and save that again. Hit export, and then come to the other one, do the same thing. Come up, one folder. This is the outside. Come to the new folder, hit save, and export. And what I'm hoping happens is I can jump over here to the meshes themselves. I can right click on them, the inside material mesh here, for example, and re-import with new file. That's what I'm hoping I can do. Come over to the new folder, and it was the inside material. It's only letting me import an FBX. These must have been imported from OBJ. Okay. Let's fix that really quick. So we'll do this again. Export selection. This one is inside, and we'll make this an OBJ instead. Ooh, maybe I don't have the OBJ exporter. You know what? Instead of just trying to replace the mesh, I'm just going to not overcomplicate this, and I'm going to try just re-importing these new meshes and replacing them in my blueprint. I think that will be easier. So let's just drag them in. Don't want to break anything at this stage in the game. So I'm going to drag in those two FBXs. Hit import, import again. Did I get them? Where'd they go? No, they did not import. Let me try in a new folder here. I guess I got confused because the meshes are the same name. Okay, great. So we have the new meshes. Let's open up our blueprint again. And I'll save myself some time by the materials, updating them. Thanks for the super chat soundscape. Awesome. I'm gonna jump over to my car material here. And jump over here. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna just come to my static meshes inside characters, drag it in, and outside, drag in outside. See, bam. Only problem is, did not update the doors. Okay, let's figure this out here. I'm gonna try exporting these just as a separate mesh, because I have a feeling that because the they're named exactly the same, which I originally thought would be a good idea. It's getting confused. So I need to make sure these get into Unreal Engine with the new meshes as part of it. So I'm going to try to import this again. Open them again. And import all. All right, car door is still not coming in. This is a... Oh, no, this one is. Great. Okay, that one came in, and that one came in. Perfect. Okay, so now we have the new meshes. Now we can come back over here and drag in the new outside and the new inside meshes. And now we just need to grab the correct material and reapply it here. Just T outside this material, and T inside is, where is it? Is it the same material? Lights, oh here, T inside. There we go. Hit save. And there we go, open door. That was slightly convoluted. Okay, we got there. Thanks so much, Soundscape. That's very awesome you said that. I'm really always super encouraged and happy to hear that tutorials are landing for people and they're enjoying it. I kind of like make the tutorials that I would want, because I sometimes find like tutorials are too long-winded and stuff. So those videos I put up on the channel, I'm like, answer the question as quickly as possible in the most efficient way possible, but clear, but fun. So I'm really happy to hear that's landing for you. All right, looking good. So we have our door open. Now we just got to drag in our meshes for the, I don't know what this is, junk pile. You can tell a lot about his personality by how he organized this stuff. And we're probably not going to be able to get it to look exactly the same here, but I think that's okay. So I'm going to drag in this tarp, I think would be a good, or maybe this one. Yeah, maybe this one. We'll just start positioning it here. I'll jump out of the sequencer to work on that. My camera is going crazy. Okay. And I'm gonna switch it to unlit mode, which sometimes I find easier to like position things at this stage because it's getting kind of, there's getting to be a lot of stuff going on. Okay, this will be the bedroll, main bedroll here. We'll rotate it this way. Which pack soundscape? You mean the tarps or the junk? Position it like this, maybe. Petrol cans. I actually don't know what that's part of. I think it might be new. I'm pretty sure you can just come up here, and I think it was just cans or something. Maybe not. Let me check what their names are called. Oh, oil canisters. There we go. So maybe if I type in oil here, 3D assets. There's, yeah, here we go. Oil canister pack. Yeah, there's just like a bunch of them. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of like looking at the new assets page often and being like, inspiration. What could I build with this? My camera's moving too fast. Okay, so this one we'll make a little bit smaller and we'll have it go on top. I have a very technical question in the chat here. Can you explain why Tom Hardy, Mad Max character, didn't get together with Charlize Theron at the end of the movie? That was hard to understand. Well, let's see here. This is a very technical question. I don't know if I'm qualified to answer it. I feel like they kind of hated each other. I need to watch the movie again. Maybe it was more than that, but I feel like they kind of worked with each other out of convenience. And then at the end, they kind of were like, I've had enough of you. I guess we'll see in the next one. Okay, let's drag in some of this junk. Oh, yeah, I probably need to watch it again. I feel like, actually the version I really want to watch is the black and white version. There's I think it's called Black and Chrome or something. That's like Mad Max, but all black and white. Oh, dude, I would really enjoy watching it again in that format. I feel like it's so gritty and grungy looking. In black and white, it would be really cool. The Duel. Ooh, I don't know. I don't think I have seen it. Let's maybe not the white one here. I'm just trying to pile this stuff in some way that looks a little similar here. Take a look through our camera. Oh, okay, yes, I have heard of The Duel. I have not seen it yet, but I will check it out. Okay, that sword. I don't really have like a bedroll looking thing for the bottom. Maybe I can use a trash bag to like make it sort of look like a roll. Rotate this around here. Looks like we got some movie buffs in the chat. I'm here for it. right, let's see here. Okay, I think that's good enough for now. It's starting to look pretty close to the reference. And let's check our time. All right, doing good on time. So now I think I'll just tweak the colors of this tarp here to match, and then we'll take a look at some of our other color issues here that we have going on. So grab the tarp here, jump over here to the material by double clicking on it. Let's open this up. And I'm going to come over to the albedo tints, drag it over to the brown a little bit, brown end of the spectrum. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Hit save and come to the other tarp, do the same thing. Grab the albedo tint. Save. Yes. I agree. It's super easy to change. And sometimes when I'm making my new materials for stuff, I sometimes start with the Megascan's base material and just modify it. Like if I'm making a landscape material, I will just kind of use it as a jumping off point and then go from there. This trash bag, I'm gonna need to modify a little bit. Increase the brightness, maybe. There we go. Hit save. I don't think I know Jogarth. I will need to look at that. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I will definitely check that out. Brushify. Okay, I do know the name Brushify, yeah. Yes, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't actually personally used it. That I will go check that out on that recommendation. Awesome. Yeah, I would actually really like to get into some snow stuff. Maybe when we're done with the Mad Max hellscape, we can do a snow project next. That would be super cool. Okay, so we have our little bedroll here. Have our door open. I'm gonna save everything. It's making me save a new map. Not sure why. And now we can start on some color tweaking to get this a little bit closer to our reference here when this finishes saving. Painfully realistic. That's a great descriptor. Especially if you've like labored over many hours trying to make something look realistic, and it's just like somebody builds something like, ugh. It's like, this hurts. It's great, but it hurts. Did you drop a link? I'll have to look at it later. All right, sorry. Don't know why this is taking so long to save. I'll close my Maya in the background. Okay, let's plan here as it's saving. So I'm looking here. I definitely, the overall color of the shot is definitely more orange in our reference here. And if I come over to the post-processing volume, I think I can do a few slight tweaks here to kind of get it into that color range. So with the post-processing volume selected, I'm going to just type in color, so it'll just snap me to the color correction. section here, and I'm gonna try to increase the saturation a bit from 1 to 1.2, which I guess I did already. I'm just turning it back on. And that is looking, now I'm blocking the reference, sorry. Let's put this up here. Okay, so that's looking a little bit closer. Maybe we'll open the temperature, choose color temperature, and either temperature or tint, I can't remember. To me, it's looking like it needs to be a little warmer. So I'm gonna come to let's see, what do we want to change here? I'm gonna try to navigate down to the color correction because in case I'm missing a tint or something. Color grading, temperature, oh, global, that's what I want. Global saturation, global gain. So I'm gonna open the global gain here. And I like using gain instead of saturation because I feel like it maintains the color. Instead of messing with the saturation levels of different colors, it's meshing with the gain, which for me gives a more intense color image in the end. So I'm gonna drag the gain over slightly, and I just need to find the right tone. Just by eyeballing it here. Might be too much, but sort of right. Too magenta. This is looking closer. High blacks. Good point there. So Soundscape's saying that the blacks look like they're a little bit brighter. I'm actually not sure because this thing here in the foreground looks to me like there's a light just off camera here. Maybe we should add that because I feel like this is weirdly bright. It's like the shadows getting lightened here in a way that doesn't quite yeah, so let's add a hit the plus button, add a light, add a rectangle light. Yeah, they're like, have to see those grungy details on the back of the car. Increase my width and my source height here and drag it back. And I'll increase my intensity. Wait, we spent too long painting this car. Oh my gosh, my streaming pool is going crazy. So I'm gonna actually lower it so that it runs a little smoother. There we go. Okay, so and this one I don't want to contribute to the volumetrics because it looks like that's what's happening. It's hazing up a little bit, so I think the light is contributing to my volumetric dust that I have, or fog that I have going on here. So I'm going to come and type in volumetrics here and lower the volumetric scattering intensity. That's a little bit better. Let's bring it up a little closer. Oh, I have it facing the wrong direction. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So obviously that's too bright, so let's lower it. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's getting there. Pretty saturated in the ground. I think that's okay. Okay. Maybe from above a little bit more than below. Yeah, you're right. Probably it's farther away. Maybe here. Good eye on that. I do see the teal in the shadows. Good point. Let's actually try to add that in the color correction volume. Yeah, I agree. I think it is teal in the shadows. That's a good eye there. I am also noticing that this material here looks a little too slick, and it's kind of messing with my brain, so I'm gonna go over here to my blueprint and jump on the outside material here, open it up, and come to the roughness, and I'm going to maybe I'll just multiply it by, actually I'm going to use, here's a really quick thing you can do, make a lerp node, which is linear interpolation, that will linearly interpolate between two numbers. Let me just check what's the output. I think it's the red channel, or it's green. Okay. So we're going to make a lerp, plug the alpha into the green channel, put it into roughness, and now we can control the min and max kind of like roughness values. So I'll just add a 1 and a 2 float values, convert them to parameters. So it'll be roughness max, converts this to a parameter. And plug them in. Hit save. Go to this part of the content browser where this asset is. Real quick. Oh, here. Create a material instance. And come back over to my blueprint and drag that material instance in instead. Open the instance. And now we can better affect this. Oh, I crashed. Wonderful. I've noticed that happening more as as the scene gets more complicated. Cool. Classic Unreal Engine. Any questions as I'm reopening here? Ooh, that might be too much for me, Soundscape. All right, here we are again. Let's go to maps, go to the third one. Let me check if I have any software open that would be, no, I think I'm good. Okay. Let's reopen this here. Open, there we go. And I'll open my sequence again as well. I know. Okay, so, oh, also, looking through this, looks like my metahuman got disconnected. Wonderful. I will reconnect it here. Okay. So I'm gonna look through this camera again. Oh no, it looked like it deleted our stuff we put in the front, even though I thought we saved it there. Oh well, I'll do that off stream. I'll re-add that. Now we know how to do it. Moving on. Let's open our blueprint again and give this another try. And we're gonna grab our outside material, open it up, go to it, create a material instance, which I'll save. Come back to my outside, drag it on. Don't crash. Close, save, close this again, just in case that's too heavy. We'll grab the instance. And now we can mess with the roughness min and max, which is 0 at the moment. So I'll definitely have the max be 1, and then if I increase the roughness min, which is the least rough amount that it could be, maybe like 0.3, that starts to give us a much better look. And unfortunately, it also lost our light. So I'm just going to really quickly add that again, because that's going to affect our color. I think I remember what we did here. Yeah. Let's put it up here, increase the width, increase the height, increase the intensity. Yeah, and you can see the roughness of the car is picking up a lot more. Basically the roughness is letting the light kind of like wrap around to the surface a little bit better. So we're seeing more detail. It might be too rough right now. It looks like a little video gamey, but maybe 0.2. Yeah, there we go. Still looks metallic, but also a little rough. Okay, great. Can I save this, please? Okay, cool. So now let's jump back into our color, and then real quick, if you're getting this problem here, I'm using ray trace shadows, and if you're getting this little like weird flippy shadow, like crunchy bad look here, there's a console command you can use to fix that, which I don't know why this has to be a console command, but if you use ray tracing r.raytracing.shadows.enable two-side geometry, and you set that to 0. Yeah, you're right, it is the nanite problems. And but if you use this thing here and hit enter, it fixes the problem. So that's what I've been using because I do still want to use nanite meshes. So that's fixed the problem for me. All right, so let's jump into a little bit of color first. Now that we have this back connected. I'm going to come over to my color grading. Come to global. And I think we added saturation and we added a little bit of gain. And we'll jump over to the shadows here. I don't know, the gain might be too much. Maybe just slightly. And we jump over to the shadows here. Let's try the teal. Open the gain here. Try a little bit of teal. Teal. Ooh, yeah. That does work. Okay. Cool. I mean, we probably tweak it a bit more, but... And then, yeah, let's jump in the highlights, see if adding orange to them works. Oh, it looks like our highlights are just over there, so maybe it's the midtones of our image at this point. It's looking close. I feel like the shadow is still too orangey, but let's go to shadows again. It's definitely getting there. Definitely getting there. Increase the gain here. Okay, this is definitely going to take some tweaking, but something I did want to show you all real quick, maybe it's the last thing we do here, is I want the the background here, I need it to be a little more magenta. You can see here in the reference that the background here is like this magenta color, and also my cloud here is kind of brownish, and that's happening from the fog that I'm using, and I kind of want that to be also desaturated, and maybe I think it's even a little green, which probably adds to the contrast of the image. So that's cool. So I just need to color correct just these areas, and you could do this like in DaVinci Resolve or something, but I'm going to show you how to do it in here in the engine. And so what we're going to do is going to come up here to the plus button, come to volumes, and choose color correction. I'm going to use window, and region and window, the only difference is that region is like a volume, so whatever it's overlapping it'll color correct, and then window is just a panel, and the panel can be just if you're looking through the panel, it color corrects it. That's what happens. So I'm going to grab the window and I'm going to position it back. I'm going to move it back over here. And yo, Shakama, what's up? Your compliments are too intense. Gotta tone it down there. Okay, I'm gonna scale this and drag it over here to the back, and maybe I'll jump out of the sequencer here. Yeah, because I really want this card to be like just over the distant area, and increase. Boom. Okay. This is what we want. Jump back over to the camera. Too much. And we're gonna just drag it over to this, we'll say this area. Okay, so now that the color correction is over top of this area, what we can do is we can come over to the color correction type and choose our shape. And this could be a circle or a square. I'm going to see how it looks with a square. And I need to find where the controls are here. Color grading settings. And we'll come over to global and we'll choose the gain again, and we'll drag this over to the magenta end of the spectrum. And you can see it starts color correcting this area a little more magenta. Super useful. So I can actually increase the size here, and then there's all kinds of settings in this for like the fall off, which actually is looking pretty good to me right now, but like you could increase the fall off here. And drag it over here. And increase the, actually I'm going to lower the magenta color a little bit here. Maybe lower the gain, because I want it to be a little darker, dark magenta. And I'll come back up to the top here and increase the fall off. That might be as much fall off as we can handle here because it's kind of small. We'll lower the intensity slightly. 0.95. There we go. Oh, right. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Overall more saturated. Let's jump into the color correction settings. And let's see, come over to our saturation. Let's do 1.5. Ooh, too much. 1.3. It's getting there. Increase my volume size slightly. There we go. All right. All right. I think this is a good place to end it here. And next stream, I think we're gonna pick up where we left off here in terms of just setting up the camera animation and then hitting render. So we're going to be doing a bunch of render settings covering, like, we'll try to maybe use path tracing. We'll see if that works. We'll also use like the normal render settings. We'll go through all my settings that I usually use when I'm rendering stuff out. So that's what we have planned for next stream, which will be next Friday. But I think we're ready to jump into doing the giveaway. So if you're still here and you want to be entered into winning my course package, which is all about making films with Unreal Engine, making your first film, then put a fire emoji in the chat and you will be entered into that random drawing. And if it is all right with you, I will do a quick little spiel about what actually is the Unreal Engine filmmaker package that I'm talking about, in case you're also interested, because for the next few hours I'm doing like a 40% off discount, which you can find below this video. So if you're interested in that, I'm just really quickly give you my spiel and we will do the drawing and then I will send you on your merry way. So this is called Unreal Engine Filmmaker, the Beginner's Guide to Making Your First Cinematic Short Film in Less Than 30 Days. This is taking you from, just knowing a little bit about Unreal Engine, or maybe you know other 3D softwares and you want to use specifically Unreal Engine. And this is for people, though it applies a lot of stuff that you would learn in the games industry for like world building, asset creation, materials, lighting, all that stuff. It is more focused on the rendering and like filmmaking capabilities of Unreal Engine and animation, stuff like that. So that's really the focus. And what we're really trying to get is to make your first animation or short film using Unreal Engine in under 30 days. That's really the goal of this curriculum, which I'm about to walk you through real quick. And you will learn to make something like this, which I also made in under 30 days with Unreal Engine, just myself as a single artist, which is really awesome, because I think that like this didn't always used to be possible for people, for one person to be able to make like a fully animated short film, like from beginning to end, which is, we're living in like a pretty exciting time that is possible. So this is the goal, and this is possible through the course. And so let me just take you through how I do that. So we start with just a basic run through of Unreal Engine, the interface, just to get you up to speed, just in case you need that, though some of you watching this probably already have that. Then it's a complete course. I believe it's like 45 lessons of specifically Unreal Engine world building. So I teach you about materials, setting up virtual textures, blocking out your environments, like building up the density of your environments. Like a lot of the stuff we're doing in the stream, I basically take you through in a lot more detail, step by step, and teach you how to do that. Then get a ultimate beginner's guide to lighting book, which I'm really almost done with. I've been really taking a lot longer than I thought, but I've been trying to really condense all of my thoughts about approaching lighting as a beginner, as a 3D artist, into this guide And it's really something I wish I had when I was starting to learn lighting, because you just have so many lights and so many options. Unlike the real world where you have to use one light or two lights because that's all you can buy or that's all you have access to. This is, you could put 100 lights in your scene and if your computer handles it. So this helps you provide a framework for just how you would approach that as a 3D artist, how to light things. Then there's a course called Virtual Filmmaker, which I think is similarly length as the World Builder, I think it's around 40 lessons or something like that. And this is animation, this is cameras, this is how to use your iPad as a virtual camera, this is how to set up your shots and then render them out and edit them in DaVinci Resolve. So I cover that whole process. And I also include as a bonus a masterclass where I do that whole process to make one little short film, like this little short film that takes you through that full process. We use a metahuman, we use animation, we use cameras, and I just take you, if you've done my free training, this is basically that free training, and it's in more detail. I'll show you actual buttons that I'm pressing. And I've also added as a bonus the Weather Effects Wizard course, which I also make, which takes you through, all the Niagara effects, basic effects you could use. So like dust storms or rain or snow, how to make those simulations. That is also included just to give some more dynamic feeling to your films. And then at the end, that wasn't enough. You can send me your finished project and I'll give you a personalized video feedback on your film, whatever, or your animation, whatever you used this course to build. And so that is the full package, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at some of the reviews, which are all 5 stars so far. Not a ton of reviews, but so far they're all 5 stars and they're all really happy with the course that they've been taking. So I will just refer you to that if you're curious about experiences other people have had through the course. And stacked up, this is all a lot of value. So I've got to be giving one login to one of you for free, and then the rest of you are going to get a discount, which you can find below this video, for the next few hours. And so the drawing will commence. Let's see. And it goes to soundscapes. Awesome. Shikama, I know you'll get it at one point. If you keep showing up, man. But congratulations, Shikama. Congratulations, Soundscape, excuse me. Shikama, the future. You have access now, and you can just email me at info@azalarts.com. I will get you hooked up with everything that you need. And the rest of you, like I said, if you find this video in the next few hours, you can get a 40% discount on the link below. And that is my spiel. So I hope you all enjoyed your time on this stream. Thank you so much for those of you who were active in the chat. Soundscape, Shikama, I really appreciate you coming with me on this journey. And I will be here streaming next Friday. We'll continue building this scene. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and this inspires you in your own projects to take some of the stuff we learned and apply it and build awesome stuff. So I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.